Hi guys, and welcome back to Dice Down Gaming. How are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me again. Only one video this week so far. Sorry, I've been really busy with work and stuff, but I'm really grateful for you for joining me today, and hopefully I'll get back to a couple of videos a week soon. Today, I'm here to take a look at the new rules and model for the Hellraker, the new colossal for the Necrofactorium army list. I'm going to take a look at what the model looks like, have a look at the rules, what weapons we can take, look at what the points cost, and give my overall thoughts and feelings about that. Before I do that, a really quick thank you to anyone who's subscribed to my channel so far. Massively grateful. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I'd be really grateful if you subscribe to my channel and drop a like on the video. I'd love to hear in the comments what you think about the model. If you're a Necrofactorium player, what you think of the rules. If you're not a Necrofactorium player, what you think it's going to be like to play against. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. With that out of the way, let's get into looking at the model and then the rules. So first of all, the model, absolutely fantastic. Another really strong model from the Privateer Press sculptors. Just absolutely killing it. Everything they put out recently, I think, have been fantastic. This joins that on another great model. I think a really great centerpiece model for any Necrofactorium players. Really fits with their sort of vibe, their aesthetic, their sort of the way the army looks, and it's going to be a fantastic paint project for anyone. So really love it. I'm jealous I'm not a Necrofactorium player because I'd love to have a go at painting this. It looks really cool. Let's take a look at the rules then. So if you're Hellraker, we bounce between 25 and 30 points. 25 is, I think, the cheapest. Maybe the cheapest colossal you can take. But it's on the cheap end nonetheless. And 30 is about where we're at. And Abyssal King is 28 to, I think, 31 or 30. So we're 58 boxes. So that's a healthy amount of boxes. In terms of the icons we have the standard Construct, Dual Attack, Pathfinder, and Unstoppable. And then we've got Eyeless Sight, which is really nice to have because there's some pretty decent range options for the model. And we have Headbutt, Niche, but if you really want to knock something down, your Hellraker can give it an old Headbutt. Then just take a look at the special rules for it. We've got 3 special rules, which are all really quite interesting. First of all, we've got Carapace Grenade, which I think are the sticky bits out on the model. Once per turn, when this model is hit by a melee attack, after the attack has been resolved, this model can use Carapace Grenades. When it does so, any models within 3 of it suffer an unboostable Power 12 blast damage roll. It can't use this while your S systems are crippled. So if your opponent charges with a unit, at one point you can unleash these grenades, do a Power 12 blast at everything within 3. Really good at cleaning up units. It's only enemy models, so you don't have to worry about friendly fire. And it's going to be really good if, like, a Marauder unit, as an example, charges the Hellraker, armor 13. On average, you should force a tough roll on every model within 3 when you trigger them. So really good, a really great deterrent to units. Also, a very thematically cool rule, I think. Next up is Tunneler. Really unique. This model can forfeit its normal movement to be placed anywhere, completely within 10 of its current location. Colossal movement does not apply to this model while resolving this rule. After it has been placed, any models within 2 inches can be pushed up to 3 inches directly away from this model in the order you choose. So, theoretically, could be very powerful. A 10-inch place on your 120mm base, you can, screen it with some mechanophrals and then place through them. Really cool. Really thematically awesome. This tunneling Hellraker coming out of the ground as the model is sort of sculpted like. Fantastic. I'm not sure how often this will be able to, used. A 120-meter base is massive, and being able to screen it out feels not too difficult. Also, terrain will limit where you can place. So I think it could be very powerful, and if you get it off, fantastic. But I think maybe it won't be so easy to get off every game or every turn. But it's hard to say because this hasn't been seen in the game before with a 120-meter base and being able to sort of place it like this. So this will, I think, we need a few games to see if you get it off every game or not. Nonetheless, a really thematically cool rule and very powerful if you're going to be able to sort of essentially move through the back ranks of your army into the front rank with this movement. And then lastly, debris field. Enemy models treat open terrain within 4 of this is rough terrain. Actually really strong. If you're playing against armies without access to Pathfinder, you essentially make people's threat range on your Hellraker 2 less. and that can be really massive. So I think three really great utility rules on immediately. We're speed 5, we're mat 6, rat 5, death 9, armor 19. Pretty standard colossal stats. We know in Necrofactorium you have Carnage, so you can be rat 8. You have access to Calamity, so you could be pseudo rat 7 or mat 10 in conjunction with Carnage. So there's ways to fix the numbers to make them a bit more appealing. I think they're pretty standard colossal numbers, and nothing wrong with them at all. So let's take a look at the base weapons you get. You get 2 range 3, which is good to know. So you've got an 11-inch base range on your charge, 11-inch base threat range, and they have sustained attack. So it's really nice that if you hit once, you then don't have to roll to hit for the rest of them. So really quite powerful on a power 19 range 3 attack. Really strong start, I think. First of all, we have an option for the head. 2 options here. One is called a Death Swarm, and it's got an interesting rule. So first of all, it's got Threshing More. So after this model is placed by Tunneler, but before pushing the models as a result of Tunneler, any models within 2 of this model suffer an unboostable power 12 melee damage roll. A few things, it's a melee damage roll. So I think Synergy will affect this because that increases your melee power. But it's not from an attack. So that gets around a lot of things like Vengeance, etc. Are only if a model is destroyed by an attack. And this not being an attack lets you get around quite a few things in the game. So great utility if you're able to get this sort of Tunneler off, burrow up, clear up some models that are in lower armor in the way. You get a great value of the model, which is similar to Shum's Warheads. You can hit a model and make some damage rolls on some models near that model, and essentially with one attack you could kill 2 or 3 models. It's great fury efficiency. This will allow you to pop up, say, kill 3 or 4 armor 14, 15, 16 models, and then make your attacks on a heavier armor target. Essentially really focus efficient. So really great if you're going to be able to get off the Tunneler. Then its gun is a range 10 AoE 3 power 14 8 gun. Has pistol, and it has ebb and flow. And on a direct hit, models that have been pushed by Tunnel this turn have become knocked down. So it's quite interesting because I don't think there's quite so many rules in the game where if you've previously been affected by a rule, you get like an additional trigger, and you have to track which was been pushed by Tunneler, which hasn't. So this is sort of going quite all in on your Tunneler rule. You're going to tunnel, pop up, get to do some damage rolls, and then you then with the gun, what you have pushed will then be knocked down. Quite cool, quite fun. And if Tunneler is easier to get off than I expect, could be very efficient. Next up, we've got the Heavy Venom Blaster. I'm a big fan here. This is 1 point cheaper than your Death Swarm. It's a range 12 power 14 spray, which causes continuous corrosion and is the corrosion type. Has reload 1 and also makes you rat 6. So, you've got a very long range spray which adjusts your rat by 1 and has reload 1. So it's offering you 2 spray 12 attacks for 1 point cheaper than the Death Swarm. I'm a big fan. I think Heavy Venom Blast is really great. That is your head options. So we're going to look at the arm options. Both arm options are the same for left and right. So we'll just look at one. First of all, you can get an additional gun. So you which has weapon platform. As long as the model has 2 options that include weapon platform, it gains gunfighter. So if you arm both of your guns with the barbed nets, the model will gain gunfighter. So you can then shoot if you're engaged, you can still shoot other targets. Quite nice. It's a range 18, power 15 gun, which has skewer. So if that damages someone, you can drag. That's some great utility. 2 drags on a 120mm base. Feels really great. And also decent power. That if you calamity something and you're firing power 17s, that can start, actually lifting off, maybe heavies at range. If you take maybe take the spray and spray twice, you can be firing 4 shots a turn. Feels really decent. I quite like this, and I think drag's a fantastic rule to have in any army, especially when you're on 120mm. Next up, we've got this really cool tech beast. This is a Void Disruptor. This has the rule, which is Void Plate with the rule Void Disruptor. This has the rule, the first time each enemy Warjack or Monstrosity ends a movement or is placed within 3 inches of 1 or more models with Void Disruptor, it loses 1 focus. The first time each enemy horror ends a movement or place within 1 more model to avoid disruptor, it loses 1 essence. And if a war beast ends within 3 inches, it gains the fury. If you arm both arms with a void plate, that range is 6 rather than 3. So this makes the Hellraker, obviously harder to remove. If a Warjack charges into the Hellraker and then ends within 6 or 3, which it would do, they gain a focus. So you lose a focus. Sorry. So you essentially are losing an attack, and similar with a War Beast, you suddenly gain a Fury and lose the opportunity to buy 1 more attack. Makes the Hellraker that much harder to kill. But also, if you have a bunch of malefactors around the Hellraker, and then your opponent's cohort lose focus or essence or gain fury, your malefactors are also harder to kill. So it's a really nice bit of tech, and I quite like the idea of taking 2 and making that range 3 inches. It's the cheaper option of the 2. And makes the Hellraker and your Warjacks essentially a lot more harder to 1 round. So there are the options you have for your Hellraker. I think some really, really interesting options here. And I think if I was a Necrofactorium player, I'd be really excited to start making lists with this guy. What I've got an example of sort of my 2 favourite ways to load out a Hellraker here. First of all, I've got a bit more of an expensive option. And I've gone for the shooty Hellraker. I've gone for Heavy Venom Blaster. So this offers the +1 wrap, and it also offers the 2 sprays. So we've got a spray with reload, and I've got the 2 barbed nets. So that offers the model Gunfighter, because you've got 2 weapon platform weapons. And it says here, so you're on model 2, you gain Gunfighter. So you've got a really quite nasty shooting colossal, two power 14s, 2 power 15s. You have access to Calamity in the faction and regionally seek arc nodes with the little raptors. So you could fire a power 8, a rat 8, 2 power 17s and 2 power 16 sprays. That feels really, really nice. And not only that, the barbed nets are offering you skewer. So if you're not going for a caster, you can drag 2 heavies in a turn. I really like this loadout. You've still got your 2 melee attacks with sustained attack. You are on the more expensive side, this one. You are at 29 points. But it offers you a really effective shooting colossal with the utility of 2 drags. As well as that, my other loadout I like is the sheep loadout. So for 25 points, you get your 2 void plates. So this Hellraker is harder to kill because your opponent's cohorts are essentially going to lose a point of resource when they get close. And as well as that, you are 4 points cheaper than the previous incarnation. You still get the 2 sprays, but you lose out on the 2 drags and you lose out on Gunfighter. But you are 4 points cheaper. These 2 loadouts I really like. 25 points for this one. I think it's quite nicely costed. 29 points for a really great shooting platform. I can get behind as well. I'm really excited to see how the Hellraker lands in lists, what Warcasters people use and really unlock it. You've obviously got sort of more Tenebra to offer synergy. Aviscerus can offer you Redline. Sepsira has Gang Fighter. There's a lots of things in the faction that can sort of aid it. And then you've got things like Carnage and Calamity to raise it to new heights. I'm really excited to see how it lands. I'd love to hear what you think about the model, about the rules. How are you going to use it? I'm not sure when the pre-order is, but I don't think it's too long till this thing arrives. So I can't wait for people to get people paint it, use their own color schemes, and see what colors come out as well. It's a really impressive model. I think I'll wrap it up there. I hope you've enjoyed going through the rules with me. Drop what you think in the comments. Until the next one, I'll see you then.